Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martridge here with your outlook for May 8th, 2015, and we're going to have a nice warm day today, maybe some morning fog in some areas here to deal with, and that's because we have a southeasterly flow that's going to be pretty much settling in over this entire weekend, and that is because of this culprit right down here. This is a subtropical low that will stay south of the region this weekend. We're not affecting any direct impacts from this. The only thing we're going to have with, since it is a area low pressure, and counterclockwise flow around this will bring in southwesterly winds. It's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to allow for fog to form the overnight hours, and that's going to last to about mid-morning of the next day, and also keep the shore points a little bit cooler than the interior. So, although everywhere else we're going to have a nice warm surge. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s as a general rule straight through the weekend here. You get along the shore points here, you're going to be stuck in the 70s here. So not the best weekend for being in the beach, but of course it's probably too cold to swim anyway. It will be a more refreshing breeze down in this area here. Now, because of the proximity of this system here, it's also going to bring in increased humidity over the weekend and an increased amount of instability. There is no trigger here, which means there's no frontal boundary, either cold front or warm front. That's what we talk about when we say a trigger, a defined trigger. So there's nothing in place to spark some thunderstorms here, but there might just be enough instability that you could have one of these tiny little isolated cells just pop up over just a small area. So most areas will stay dry. We're talking about a 20% chance of a shower or thunderstorm late in the day, on either Saturday or Sunday, but for most areas you will see nothing, and I wouldn't be surprised if all of our areas are completely dry. It's just going to be those instability showers or thunderstorms that pop up, and it'll be very short-lived if they do. This is our subtropical system here, and whether or not everybody's making a big deal about this, whether it's going to be named or not, or if it's going to become Anna, and if the National Hurricane Center is going to wind up classifying it as officially as a subtropical storm. And we really don't think it's a big deal. I mean, this is a whoop-de-doo system here, because it's just, unless you're down here in Myrtle Beach, there's really nothing to be concerned about. And even there, they're just going to have some gusty winds and some rough surf. But so if you're down in this area, this is now looking at Sunday, and today is, of course, Friday, and it moved maybe 75 miles to the northwest, so it's pretty much stalled down in this area. If you're following the videos over the last couple of days, we were talking about this big upper-level ridge that's sitting over top of it, and this is over top of this, or this system is cutting underneath the ridge here, so there's really no steering effects here. I mean, normally when you have a tropical system, you have something that's going to move it in some direction. There's really no force, no steering currents that's making this move, so you're just seeing it drift to the northwest here. So the only thing you're really going to get out of this over the weekend, even in the afternoon, you might get some high clouds associated with this. That's about it. So this is going to keep us from getting any chance of hitting 90 degrees anywhere on our coverage area this weekend is going to be taken away because of those high clouds. But other than that, you're going to have the increased humidity and the foggy conditions to start each day, with the overnight period being foggy as well. But that's about it. Eventually, when this system does move on shore here, as we get to the next couple frames here, it's going to start to weaken a little bit, and when it weakens, it just becomes a weak wave that winds up being picked up by this cold front. And you see this cold front moving in here from the west here. That's going to affect our weather here later on Tuesday, but we're pretty much dry through the entire period except for that isolated pop-up thunderstorm in any of the afternoons between now and Monday, and then a more concentrated chance of showers and thunderstorms with the cold front on Tuesday. But this cold front is going to pick this system up, this whatever's left of it, and take it rapidly to the northeast and out away from our area. So we're not expecting any impacts in our area whatsoever. You can see this is just a weak wave, and that's all that's left of this thing. Is the cold front just picks it up and shuts it to the east here. Here's the showers and thunderstorms here on Tuesday. Right now, most models are not impressed with this frontal boundary, the associated showers and thunderstorms with it. That can certainly change as we get closer. We're talking about several days, 4 or 5 days in the future now. So obviously there's going to be model disagreement with timing and intensity of any storms that come through. If it does come through later in the day, we have a chance of a little bit stronger storm. So we'll just keep an eye on this with the cold front. This will be a trigger, the cold front. So that's where you're expecting the more widespread showers and thunderstorms later in the day on Tuesday. And then behind it, we're going to get really cool, but we're not talking about a cold blast here. We're just saying temperatures going to be heading back to near normal for this time of year for a couple days. Normal is on either side of 70 degrees, believe it or not. Even though we're in the 80s right now, we're actually well above normal. By the time we get to Wednesday and our mostly sunny skies, we have winds shifting back to the northwest, lowering humidity, and temperatures back in the low 70s. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for May 8th, 2015. Have a great Friday.